Alright, so we're going to continue on. And I'm going to redraw the head real quick. It's actually a better way to do it. So what we're going to do then, as we're drawing the side view, is, we did this two squares, and then that way we have the length of the length of the body. So the same as the front. So far is the same as the front. But how can we use these squares then to draw the person? And notice I used this on the corner of the square. I kind of drew you can do this wherever you want. Just this kind of works good for me. You know that the halfway point, and then where the belly button is where you can see the belly button, and then the rib cage ends about there. So that same place where the belly button was before is now where you're going to end your rib cage, and so you can then draw your rib cage in there like we went through. Then we know that from the belly button to the crotch, and then that same height is where the breast would begin. That'd be the middle of the breast, like the nipple. So we know we start our breast there, so we can draw that shape in there. Okay, but real quick, we know the head's going to go in here about, we know that you have the length of the neck, and we know our neck is going to be at an angle. That's not going to be straight. As we can see here, the neck isn't straight. It kind of goes like that. And then when we draw the other lines into the neck, that line and that line, then you'll see that it looks normal. So to do the head, I'm going to draw a full kind of almost oval circle like this, and then coming down this kind of shape like this. So something like that. That'll give me the head shape that I need. And I can get rid of a lot of this. Anyway. And then the neck would come like that. And then I have my shoulder there. Okay, so we have these basic shapes so far, then we have memorized, and we know their placement. So again, watch the video right before this one to get these shapes memorized, because you want to memorize these shapes and where they go. And before I stopped, I was talking about the flow line. So if you have your head there, oops, if you had your head there, let's say, then you have the flow line of the body from the side view, which kind of goes. You have your neck, so it kind of comes down like that, and then you kind of see it kind of comes like that. If you want to imagine like the spine maybe, and then like this. So it's not, don't imagine it straight. Kind of imagine this flow line like that, to the butt, and then imagine a separate flow line for the legs, which kind of comes out like this, and then kind of comes like this. So that's the shapes you want to remember for the side view. So memorize that now. Draw that a few times until you have that memorized. And that might want to be the first thing you draw after you draw in, after you sketch in the quick squares. Okay, come on, disappear. There we go. So after we draw in the squares, you might want to draw in those shapes. I wish I can see my little thing here. It's hard to see right now. Maybe if I switch caps locks on. There we go. Makes it a little easier. So we have that kind of shape like that. And then we have the second shape, which is going to be kind of like this. So it's good to have those. Okay. The next thing then we want to dedicate to our memory is the so since you have that that curve we're memorizing, that curve there, we could add the butt curve. And so if it kind of curves in, and then we know the butt is going to start here, and the butt ends just a little bit below the crotch area. So it's an end, a little bit below the crotch area, about the same as the neck length before, when you had this same length here, the same length between the chin and the neck. So that's about from there to there anyway. So if we know that, then we can kind of draw in that curve And it really just depends on how, how big her butt is too. Everyone's different. So it goes, about like that. Then we need this shape in here. I'm going to erase some of this where we can kind of see. Okay, so I can, for now, just kind of draw a line right there. So you just, because we want to memorize the basic shapes first before we get into the complicated shapes. So just kind of draw a line, and that gets us going. Now from here to the basic shape you want to memorize for now, just like remember before when we started, we drew in the basic shapes, and then we went and learned the detailed shapes. You kind of have this kind of like an oval or something like that. And we know the knees are going to be the same place they were last time, so we know if we have the midpoint here and then to here, we know the halfway point between here and here is where the knees would go, just like before. So then we can draw in a little circle for now, or a little square, just whatever you want, and that would be your knee. And then now we know that, because of that flow line we memorized, that kind of comes like this. Then we want to kind of have our shapes follow that line. And then for the heel, for the bottom of the leg, you're going to want to draw a, I've made my knee too low. It should be up there, and then like that anyway. Remember, this part here, we're just memorizing shapes. Okay, so, and the foot would come out like that, and you can see that, then you'd have your other, your front part of the foot onto that. So kind of three shapes. You can kind of memorize it, those three little shapes there. Okay. So that's pretty much it for the side view, for the for the initial part, and then you can, if you want, you can draw in your shapes like that, just where it looks more 3D. So that's what you need to memorize for the side view, and then we can go in and memorize all these fine contour lines that we're going to need to memorize for the side view. And because there are times where certain body parts will be from the side view, and it's good to have these memorized. And even if you never draw a perfect side view ever in your life, knowing these lines and how they fit into, if you memorize this in your brain, so you have the front view, the side view, and the back view, and then the 3/4 view, when you have those views, your brain kind of fits everything else into play. It fills in the blanks, and so you just want to draw these views until you have them memorized. Keep doing this till you can do this from your memory without looking at anything. Where you can open up a piece of paper, it's blank, nothing in front of you, and follow these, procedures where you draw the square, and then, the procedure now. Then you can fill in all the shapes until you have this shape here. Just something basic, and keep doing that until you can do this. Just like before on the first few videos, for the front view, we had that kind of primitive looking, female, and then after we added in the knowing all the lines, it looked cool. So the next stage is we'll memorize all these lines, adding onto our sloppiness here, and then we'll have the side view of a female. And so the reason why I draw this shape way up here like this is because just like from the front view, the hip started where the belly button is, which is about here. This leg, right, see that shape right there, starts about where the belly button is too. So anyway, if these videos are helping you and you want me to keep pressing forward, then leave comments and let me know, like, yeah, keep going forward, and if you'd like to see more, and what you'd want to see when we go through all the different angles. Alright, so that's it for this video.